From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, said Typhoon Tino, with international name Kalmegi, made landfall in Silago, southern Leyte Province at midnight Tuesday, November 4. The storm maintained its strength, packing maximum sustained winds of 150 kilometers per hour and gusts reaching up to 205 kilometers per hour while moving westward at 25 kilometers per hour. As of 5 o'clock Tuesday morning, the typhoon's eye was located over the coastal waters of San Francisco, Cebu Province. PAGASA warned of life-threatening conditions over Camotes Islands with typhoon-force winds extending up to 300 kilometers from the center. Areas under tropical cyclone wind signals are as follows: Signal number 4, western and southern Leyte, northern and central Cebu including Camotes and Bantayan Islands, northeastern Bohol, northernmost Negros Oriental, northern Negros Occidental, Guimaras, central and southern Iloilo, and southern Antique. Signal number 3, southern Leyte, central and eastern Bohol, northern Negros Oriental, central Negros Occidental, remaining parts of Iloilo, southern Capiz, and central Antique. Signal number 2, southern Masbate, Romblon, oriental and occidental Mindoro, northern Palawan including Calamian Islands, central and southern eastern Samar and Samar, Biliran, remaining parts of Bohol, Cebu, Negros Oriental and Occidental, Siquijor, remaining parts of Capiz, Aklan, Antique including Kaluya Islands. Areas under signal number 1 are in Albay, Sorsogon, remaining Masbate, including Ticao and Burias Islands, southern Quezon and Marinduque, remaining Romblon, Oriental and Occidental Mindoro, central Palawan including Cagayancillo Islands, northern Samar, remaining eastern Samar and Samar, remaining parts of Negros Oriental, northern Surigao del Sur, northeastern Agusan del Sur, Agusan del Norte, Misamis Oriental, northern Bukidnon, northern Misamis Occidental, and northern Zamboanga del Norte. Heavy to torrential rains may trigger flash floods and landslides in Palawan, Western Visayas, Negros Island region, and Central Visayas. Eastern Visayas, Northern Mindanao, Albay, Sorsogon, Masbate, and Mimaropa will also experience rains with gusty winds due to Tino. Meanwhile, cloudy skies with scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms are expected over Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Central Luzon, Isabela, and Aurora due to the shear line. The northeast monsoon, or Amihan, will bring rains to Ilocos region, Cordillera, and the rest of Cagayan Valley. Tino is projected to cross Visayas and northern Palawan, then emerge over the West Philippine Sea by Wednesday morning. It is expected to exit the Philippine Area of Responsibility, or PAR, by Wednesday evening or Thursday morning. While terrain interaction may cause slight weakening, Tino will likely remain a typhoon throughout its passage. PAGASA is also monitoring a new low-pressure area, or LPA, located 2,165 kilometers east of northeastern Mindanao. This system has a high chance of developing into a tropical depression within 24 hours.
Dateline Malacañang.
The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, announced that 3 transmission lines affected by Typhoon Tino in Visayas and Mindanao have been fully restored. In its 9 o'clock Monday evening advisory, NGCP confirmed the restoration of the following lines: Opol Cagayan de Oro 69 kilovolt Line 1, which supplies power to Misamis Oriental 1 Rural Electric Service Cooperative Incorporated, or Moresco 1, and Cagayan Electric Power and Light Company Incorporated, or Sepalco, was restored at 6:25 in the evening. Placer Madrid 69 kilovolt line serving Surigao del Norte Electric Cooperative, or Sorneco, Siargao Electric Cooperative, or Siarelco, and Surigao del Sur 2 Electric Cooperative Incorporated, or Surseco 2, was restored at 8:16 in the evening. Paranas Borongan Kinapondan 69 kilovolt line, which powers Eastern Samar Electric Cooperative Incorporated, or Esamelco, was also restored at 8:16 in the evening. The NGCP reported that all transmission lines and facilities were operating normally. The agency reminded the public that power outages may stem from either NGCP's transmission facilities or the distribution infrastructure of local electric cooperatives. It added that the identification of affected cities and municipalities falls under the jurisdiction of the respective distribution utilities unless the outage impacts the entire franchise area. Meanwhile, 5 transmission lines in the Visayas and Mindanao are currently out of service due to Typhoon Tino. According to the NGCP, affected lines include Maasin Baybay 69 kilovolt line serving Leyte 4 Electric Cooperative Incorporated, or Leyeco 4. Ormoc San Isidro 69 kilovolt line supplying Don Erestes Romualdez Electric Cooperative Incorporated, or Doreco Southern Leyte Electric Cooperative Incorporated, or Soleco, Leyeco 3 and Leyeco 5. Ormoc Baybay 69 kilovolt line servicing Leyeco 4 and Leyeco 5. Maasin San Isidro 69 kilovolt line supplying Soleco. Placer Madrid 69 kilovolt line serving Surigao del Norte Electric Cooperative, or Sorneco, Siargao Electric Cooperative, or Siarelco, and Surigao del Sur 2 Electric Cooperative, or Surseco 2. Additionally, one 38 kilovolt and one 350 kilovolt line are offline, though NGCP has yet to confirm the areas affected. The NGCP assured the public that line crews have been deployed and patrol operations are underway to assess and restore the affected infrastructure.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, defense officials from the Philippines, Australia, Japan, and the United States voiced serious concern over China's destabilizing behavior in the East China Sea and South China Sea following a high-level meeting held on November 1st in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. In a joint statement, Philippine Defense Secretary Gilberto Chodoro Jr., Australian Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Minister Richard Marles, Japanese Defense Minister Koizumi Shinjiro, and U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth reaffirmed their commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. The gathering marked the 5th such meeting in 3 years. The 4 leaders emphasized the importance of upholding international law, particularly the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, and reiterated that the 2016 South China Sea Arbitral Award is final and legally binding on all parties involved. They also expressed strong support for Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN's central role in shaping regional security and pledged to strengthen peace and stability through the following initiatives: reinforcing deterrence and operational readiness across joint defense efforts, expanding coordinated defense cooperation, including enhanced information sharing, joint training, and operational alignment to ensure seamless interoperability. To further align strategic and operational goals, the ministers backed the creation of the Indo-Pacific Chiefs of Defense Cooperation Council involving all four nations. The officials also welcomed the enforcement of the Reciprocal Access Agreement between Japan and the Philippines, which enables deeper bilateral and multilateral defense collaboration. Finally, they announced the upcoming Balikatan 2026 exercise in the Philippines, which will include participation from all four countries to boost joint preparedness and regional defense integration.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Police, or PNP, is reinforcing its cybersecurity measures amid warnings from the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, of potential distributed denial of service, or DDoS attacks on November 5th. DDoS attacks overwhelm websites with excessive traffic, causing slowdowns or system crashes. PNP Acting Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. said, "The police force is actively monitoring its digital platforms and working closely with the DICT to strengthen firewalls and safeguard both hardware and software systems." He also emphasized the integrity of personnel handling sensitive data. Among the critical systems being secured are e-warrant system, a nationwide database for arrest warrants enabling real-time verification and enforcement, situation report and incident recording system, databases on firearms, explosives, and internal disciplinary cases under the Internal Disciplinary Mechanism Information System. Nartates said these interconnected systems contain vital and sensitive data crucial to police operations. The DICT has urged government agencies and the public to remain vigilant, update passwords regularly, and report any suspicious online activity.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, is pushing to reduce the cost of construction materials used in government infrastructure projects, including those under the directive of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. In a press briefing Monday, DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon announced that the agency will eliminate overpricing and align material costs with prevailing market rates as part of a broader reform initiative. Priority materials for price adjustment include cement, asphalt, sand, steel sheet piles, gravel, and steel bars. Dizon said the move could save the government up to 60 billion pesos in the 2026 national budget. He added that the savings could translate into an additional 1,600 kilometers of concrete roads and 1,000 kilometers of asphalt roads nationwide. President Marcos earlier directed the DPWH to cut material costs by 50% without compromising structural quality. To further improve transparency and project oversight, the DPWH signed a Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA, with the Philippine Space Agency, or PhilSA, on Monday. The partnership will utilize satellite technology to monitor infrastructure projects from implementation to completion. The agreement was signed by Secretary Dizon and PhilSA Officer in Charge Gay Jane Perez.
Dateline Malacañang.
As the country marks the 33rd National Children's Month this November, The Council for the Welfare of Children, or CWC, is ramping up its efforts to combat online sexual abuse and exploitation of children, or OSAIC, and child sexual abuse or exploitation materials, or CSIM. In a televised interview Monday, CWC Executive Director and DSWD Undersecretary Angelo Tapales said, the month-long observance aims to raise public awareness and mobilize collective action to protect children's rights. To address online abuse, bullying, and cyberbullying, the CWC has partnered with key agencies including the Department of Education, Cybercrime Investigation Coordination Center, Department of Information and Communications Technology, Philippine National Police, Anti-Cybercrime Group, and the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI. Tapales highlighted the NBI's Makabata Helpline 1383 as one of CWC's earliest allies in child protection. He also stressed the importance of engaging parents, noting that many cases of violence against children reported to the PNP involve corporal punishment by misguided guardians. Tapales said ending OSAIC and CSIM requires a united front. Parents and communities must work together to protect children both online and offline. He reported significant progress in local child protection, with the number of child-friendly local government units, or LGUs, rising from 372 in 2022 to 1,091 this year. He credited this to the administration's directive for LGUs to enforce OSAIC ordinances, assign trained personnel, and strengthen referral systems for victims. Tapales also cited Executive Order 52, or the Pag-abot Program, and Executive Order 79, the Makabata Program, which align national and local initiatives for children in vulnerable situations, including street dwellers and those in conflict-affected areas. This year's theme, OSAIC, CSIM, Wakasan, Kaligtasan at Karapatan ng Bata Ipaglaban.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Bureau of Customs Port of Manila, or BOCPOM, announced it will hold a public auction via sealed bidding on November 17, featuring 7 high-end vehicles confiscated from the Diskaya couple who are linked to questionable government flood control contracts. In a social media post, BOCPOM listed the vehicles up for auction: a 2022 Toyota Tundra, Toyota Sequoia 2023, Rolls-Royce Cullinan 2023, a 2022 Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG, a 2019 Mercedes-Benz G500 Brabus, a 2021 Lincoln Navigator L, and a 2022 Bentley Bentayga. The auction will begin at 10 in the morning at the Situation Room, Office of the Commissioner, or OCOM Building, Bureau of Customs, Port Area, Manila. Interested bidders are invited to participate, with a public viewing scheduled from November 10 to 12 at the PUC parking area within the OCOM grounds.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Agriculture, or DA, has pledged stronger support for the country's banana industry to combat the spread of Panama disease, a fungal infection threatening production and exports. The commitment follows the 32nd Joint General Assembly of the Philippine Banana Growers and Exporters Association, or PBGEA, and the Banana Export Industry Foundation, or BEIF. Panama disease, caused by Fusarium wilt tropical race 4, has already affected around 15,500 hectares of Cavendish banana farms in the Davao region, posing a serious threat to the Philippines' banana export backbone. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. said the DA is firmly committed to supporting our banana farmers and exporters in addressing this challenge, emphasizing the need for closer collaboration between the Marcos administration and the private sector. Under the DA's High Value Crops Development Program for 2025, the department will distribute 106,000 banana planting materials to rejuvenate farms, provide 120,000 units of organic fertilizer to improve soil health, and deploy 215,000 biological control agents like trichoderma to protect crops and reduce post-harvest losses. Chu Laurel also called for urgent action to address trade competition and technological gaps. He noted that Vietnam has overtaken the Philippines as China's top banana supplier despite facing higher tariffs in Japan. Secretary Chu Laurel warned that unless these inequities are addressed, the country's market share will remain at risk. He identified key research areas including disease tolerance, breeding strategies, and innovations such as gene editing.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, has echoed the Philippine Embassy in Egypt's warning against illegal recruitment and deceptive third country employment schemes targeting Filipinos seeking jobs in Egypt without proper documentation and accreditation. In a social media advisory posted Monday, the DMW urged aspiring overseas workers to apply only through its accredited recruitment agencies, report suspicious offers, and safeguard their passports and legal work documents. The DMW also cautioned against recruiters offering quick placements or jobs in Egypt via third country channels, schemes that often bypass legal processes and expose workers to exploitation, detention, or deportation. The Philippine Embassy in Cairo reiterated that under Egyptian law, all foreign workers must secure work permits and licenses from the Ministry of Manpower and carry valid IDs and residence cards at all times. Filipinos were reminded that their Philippine passport is government property and must not be surrendered to employers or sponsors. Overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, are advised to keep their passports for identification and cooperate with authorities when asked to present their documents.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our post as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.